That's why I repeat the same thing. All our politicians are representatives of the people. That's all they are. The answer to you, the people of Montserrat. The answer to you, they work for you. You don't work for them, they work for you. So somebody is running for office, for politics, whatever you want to call it. So they're running and they will come and say to you, they're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're going to fix this and they're going to fix that. But we all know most times nothing happens. And not only Montserrat, all over the world where people promise things and they never deliver. It just so happens that Montserrat is in a critical state. And when I say critical state, I simply mean whatever decisions we make, whoever we choose, because personally I don't think there's a win and lose. So I don't think no politician will win or lose. It's not a competition, it's representation and people choosing who they want to choose. So when politicians come and say they're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're going to fix this, sometimes you really have to question, is everything that they're saying really possible? People talk about food security. And when people talk about food security, can politicians really fix the food security issues that we have in Montserrat? And my answer to that is yes. These matters can be fixed if people really concentrate on fixing them and not just saying they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And it might mean sometimes you, as a politician, you have to actually stand up so firm that you might even lose the position that you're in. And if you lose the position that you're in, I mean, at the end of the day, people would know that at least you stand up for them and you stand up and you explain to people. But one of the biggest issues politicians have is actually talking to people. They have an issue letting people know what's happening. A lot of times people go into politics and they don't even understand what's really happening or what is their issue, what is really the issue. Because the politicians that were there before, they have this silence thing. That's not the purpose of a politician. The purpose of a politician is to represent people and talk to the people and let the people know what's happening. And that's why, personally, if I really do choose to get into politics, I don't know if I'm going to last long because at the end of the day, I'm going to have to represent people and tell people the truth. I have no reason to tell anybody any lie. Certain things are possible and certain things are just not possible. It is not possible for Montserrat to be a duty-free country, for example. If in case you understand that the government of Montserrat need at least 45 to $50 million a year to pay civil servants, if you really understand and know the figures and know what's really happening, then you can come and say to people, we're going to cut the duties and we're going to, you can't cut all duties, you could just cut some duties. That's just realistic. So there's a list of things that politicians will say that they're going to fix. They're going to fix, I'm looking at the board, they're going to fix food security, they're going to fix tourism. They're going to fix maybe private sector development. Let me see what else they're going to fix. Education. But are these things really realistic for them to fix? Tourism can be fixed because tourism plays a part with access. And that is the reason why we have to really have a ferry service between Montserrat and Antigua. It's not just so people are coming from England in December and in March and then the ferry empty for the rest of the year. We have to now make arrangements in Antigua. Montserrat and Antigua have to be so close that it appears that Montserrat and Antigua is one country. We have to tap into Antigua. The premier of Montserrat must be very good with the Honorable Gaston Brown, has to be very close with these people because every country, the premiers, the leaders must be very good with the other person in the country. Has to be very close. So you have to make arrangements with these people. We know that Antigua is very important to us. So when it comes to the ferry, when there's slow period time, we have to allow the ferry to be bringing tourists into Montserrat. You have to make arrangements with the hotels and so forth to have day tours so that people actually come to Montserrat. We can't just rely on the big cruise ships. We have to use the ferry. And that is the reason why I'm saying no matter how much money has to be spent to have a ferry service, we have to pay that money because I'm not thinking about the ferry just to bring people that, are coming to Montserrat. I'm thinking about the ferry as a means of getting into the tourism aspects in terms of getting people to come over for their tours and bring people into the country. Some of these people might come into the country and they decide they want to buy property, they want to buy a house, they like what they see. But every time you go to Antigua, I just came from Antigua the other day. When you go to Antigua, you see massive cruise ships coming in. You see plenty yachts. You see a lot of stuff happening in Antigua. So we have to use Antigua to get some business in Montserrat. So yes, there are certain things that can be fixed when it comes to tourism and access. That's one thing basically. Education is not only for children, education is for the adults, education is for the elderly. Everybody needs to be education. Education really starts when you finish school. Is when you finish school enough. That is when education really starts. When I went to school, I didn't learn nothing. Is when I leave school, that's when I learn everything. And when technology come into play, that's when I start to really get smarter. Without technology, I probably would be still working in customs, doing the same thing. It was a good job. I learned a lot, trade facilitation and so forth. But at the end of the day, you know, we have to educate the public. We have to educate people. We have to teach people how to save money, spend money, invest money. We want the people of Montserrat to be investors. We want the people of Montserrat to have businesses. Everybody in Montserrat needs to be selling something, doing some kind of service. You're good at making cakes, make cake. You're good at doing here, you need to do here. You're good at doing lashes and makeup, you need to be doing a business. Or if in case that you don't want the hard work, you just invest in a company, have some contract signed, you make some money. We have to educate the people of Montserrat before Montserrat becomes successful. And then, of course, I made a video on tourism and I'm sticking to it, although some people say they don't want certain things in Montserrat. I'm sticking to it because I am a man of my word. And if in case I said that's how I feel about something, that is exactly how I feel about it. The tourism aspects, we have to develop and have certain things in place to attract tourists into Montserrat. We in Montserrat don't have to participate in certain things that you may find obscene. But at the end of the day, if we, in case that we want tourism to come into Montserrat, then we have to make sure we have these things in place. For example, you may not go to a rumba, but the rumba is there. That doesn't mean you have to go there. You avoid it and go where you have to go. But we have to advertise that these things are available. When I went to Antigua and I was talking to some people, 'cause everywhere I go, I try to get people to be interested in come to Montserrat. And the same question they asked me, so what is there in Montserrat for people to come to? And surprisingly, most people I talk to, they're basically saying to me, what about the volcano? I'm asking them what volcano you're talking about. That people still think that Montserrat volcano is so active that it's scary to come to Montserrat. I'm saying to people, if you come to Montserrat, you would not even know that there is a volcano. So you shouldn't have to worry yourself about volcano. Montserrat is just like any other country. Nothing lasts forever. So, I'm gonna just wrap up on this basically, but I just wanted to touch on certain things. As I'm saying, when you when you come to say that you're going to represent people, are certain things really realistic? And people have to know that, when you come into a position, because everybody could say anything, anybody could say anything at all to convince you to vote for them. Personally, if I'm running for election, I'm not going to convince anybody to vote for me. People should know what I'm capable of, what I'm willing to do, and what I've been doing for myself. It can't be just talking, and just saying something just to make people feel good and make people believe that you're going to do the work. Some things are possible, some things are not possible. Forget about cutting taxes totally. We can't cut taxes and a lot of things are needed because civil servants need to get their pay at the end of the month. Because right now, even though it's not correct, the civil servants are the engine to the country. It should really be the private sector that is the engine to the economy. But right now, which I'm not happy about, but it's the public servants are the engine. And in order for them to get money every single month without wondering if in case they're getting a salary, we have to allow the duties to be a certain point. But there are some items that need to be reduced. I've, I've, I've said it. There are some items that has to be reduced because the prices, the duties are extremely high. And if in case we want to encourage development and we want to have people making babies and so forth, we have to reduce certain things.